Yes, guys, Suki BTS TV. I'm with the Atlanta Pro Bikini winner from the weekend. It's Jourdanne Lee. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm all good. I'm all good. You are back at the Olympia. After the weekend before, we see you did not get the result you wanted, but you come back stronger than ever, and now you stamp your ticket back to Olympia, top 10 Olympian. Here we go. Just talk to me about the show just gone by. I mean, what what was the difference between the Atlanta Pro and of course the weekend before that?
Yeah, so simple. Mother Nature decided to just grace me with her presence. And that happens sometimes with us female competitors. Um, it sucks when it happens, but unfortunately it does to some of us, and there's absolutely nothing that can be done. You just have to let it take its course and hope for the best. But there were some things that were happening, like I couldn't hit my back pose the way I usually do. I was just having some like lower back discomfort from like the cramping. Me thinking, oh, it's just from training, but lo and behold, it wasn't from that. But yeah, so coming out of the Texas Pro, there was a lot for me to process in a short amount of time because I hadn't lost a pro show to qualify for the Olympia in 5 years.
I was going to touch
Five
on that in a
years.
moment. Yes.
So it was it was me working through those thoughts and those emotions and having to do that quickly so I can refocus for Atlanta. So, sometimes when we go through something that's difficult and hard, something that we haven't experienced in a long time, our processing time takes a little bit longer than usual. I didn't have that time to feel however I was feeling. I had to get right back to work. Literally, like that Sunday, I was back in the gym doing cardio to make sure that I brought a package that I was proud of to Atlanta. Now, don't get me wrong, Texas from the front, like that front pose was banging. Like we were on. And then I turned to the back and I was just like, uh,
Well,
I did not, I did.
I was gonna say, like, you say obviously you haven't lost a pro show in like 5 years, and then you had to just assess after the show. But at the same time, you must have also thought, wait there, I placed I placed second in Texas, and that is what happened. If I didn't happen, more likely it'll be my favor. I would took in the win. So, okay, if that's what happened, I took second. Surely then we get through that, and then I'm back on the podium come Atlanta. So there must have been something you're thinking, okay, I couldn't control it.
Yeah,
Let's move on. I know when I'm on my A game, I'm on my A game. I'm taking that podium spot.
absolutely. Yeah. When I'm 100%, I'm tough to beat. When I'm not 100%, there's some opportunity there. And I gave it away. Texas, I let it slip. I gave it away. Um, part of it was out of my hands, but then there's another thought. If I was leaner and the kind of, Mother Nature filled me out on her own, as opposed to utilizing carbs to fill out, like could it have been a different outcome? So there are those thoughts that I think about as well, but thoughts that have to come and go very quickly because what's in the past, I had to leave in the past so I could focus on what was ahead of me, which was Atlanta. Um, I'm gonna be very, very transparent though. It was very hard. Like that Sunday, so I got home Saturday night. We competed on Friday, got home Saturday night. And then Sunday, I wouldn't say I was a mess, but I didn't feel aligned with myself. I didn't feel at one. I was completely out of sorts. And I was like, listen, girl, you have until midnight
Because
tonight
of a loss.
going, pardon me.
Because of not taking the
Because of
win.
that loss. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was like, I have until midnight to feel these emotions and let it all out because we have a bigger goal at hand, which is Atlanta. And then after Atlanta, like we have the Olympia. And the goal this year for the Olympia is to break top five. And then once I break top five, I'm hunting for that first place win for that bikini Olympia title. So ultimately, my goal is to become the first Black woman to win a Bikini Olympia title. That is my goal, and that is my mission with what I'm doing, competing. So it's for me, all of these steps is for the bigger picture. My goal is to break history, um, and do it proudly and do it authentically myself, being myself, not changing the person that I am from when I first started this bodybuilding to when I do get that Olympia title. Because I believe in myself. I know I have what it takes. I know I have the physique. I just need to bring it and get there.
Well, let's
So,
talk. Yeah, sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was going to say, well, let's talk about Olympia, but you got straight there. The Olympia division, the bikini lineup is super, super competitive. You just mentioned about breaking into that top five, which is, of course, has to be goal after you have a top 10 finish in 2024. The pro wins you've got. The caliber of athlete you progress to becoming, and of course, overall goal you have in becoming the first black woman to win the Olympia bikini title. However, top five, we think of girls, we've got Laura Lee, we got Ashley Colewater, and then of course we've got some of the girls where we got Amy, who's had two major wins in New York, Pittsburgh, Vanya over at the Arnolds, Maureen is back as well, previous Olympia champion. And then you got a few other competitors like Jazz, who came third last year, Ashlyn, who's pushed Amy and Vanya very close. Who do you think are the ones where you can maybe jump over to get into that top five because you got a lot of good girls in front of you who are also looking behind the shoulder and they see you and they know you're a threat? Who are the ones where you think you could overcome and break into that top five?
All of them. All of them. There's not one of them that has something more than I do. There's not one of those athletes that has a better structure, has a better body part, has a better anything that I do. I'm fully capable of surpassing all of them, and I'm confident in that. As long as I bring the conditioning and the fullness that I need to, like it's going to be dangerous, and I'm fully, fully confident in that.
Is that what's been missing in the past? Because you mentioned about your structure, shape. Has it been then the condition matched with fullness? Is that the reason why we haven't seen you go higher? Because you mentioned like your shape structure is better.
Yeah.
You add that combination of condition of fullness.
Yeah.
Is that what's been missing?
Absolutely. It's always for me, I need to match the conditioning and the fullness together at the same time and bring it together. I either have the fullness and I'm lacking the conditioning a little bit, or I have a little too much conditioning and I'm lacking the fullness. So I need to tie everything together. And once I tie everything together, like that's going to be the money look. That's going to be the look to beat. So the Atlanta show this or last weekend, that was my favorite package that I have ever brought.
I was going to ask that.
Do I need to, pardon me?
I was going to ask, what was your favorite look? But you literally just told me
Yeah.
this one.
Yep. That was my favorite look that I've ever brought to any stage. I will need to be tighter for the Olympia, but not by much, maybe about 2 pounds, which is doable. I mean, we have 7.5 weeks to do it. And I'm still in good condition, post show, I don't go crazy or anything like that. So going into this Olympia, that's going to be my task. It's matching the fullness with the right amount of conditioning. So just running it back to Atlanta, the lower half, I just needed to be a little bit tighter through the lower half. So the hamstrings and like the under glute area. I mean, where I was, there was already separation and things like that. But for the Olympia, it's going to need to be tighter, which I intend on bringing. I have plenty of gas in the tank to still train hard and to still really make sure that I'm optimizing my cardio. Uh, so I have no doubt that I'll be able to bring that. And then also from a mental perspective, I am locked and loaded 200% from the mental perspective. And a lot of people don't realize that your mental is really your foundation for everything. And if your mental isn't full and whole, then your body's just not going to follow suit. So I feel that currently where I am physically, mentally, spiritually, energy, all of those things, I'm in a really prime position going into these 7.5 weeks. to the Olympia. So
So it sounds like really like you just told me that top five is a goal, but however, if you nail that condition and you nail that fullness to exactly what you want, given what you brought to Atlanta and just bring 2 pounds less, then it sounds like really that could be more of a fight towards the even higher placing the past top five, given the fact that you believe your structure and shape holds up against the very top girls in Laura Lee and Ashley.
absolutely. I mean, structurally speaking, like I have a naturally very small waist. Atlanta, my waist was 21.5 inches. I'm
Jeez.
5'7". I have the wide clavicles. I've built up my back and my lats. So my lat to waist to glute ratio is just crazy. A lot of athletes have trouble with the upper outer glutes. I have the upper outer glutes, the mid glute, the lower glute now. Um, uh, I do have longer legs, being 5'7". So this off season, I worked really hard to build my legs up. So I have some nice size and leg meat now, with the adductors, which is the inner thigh. So yeah, I mean, I'm fully confident in my genetics and maximizing my genetics and my structure. Bodybuilding, as you know, you talk to bodybuilders all the time. When you're at the top, this is truly a game of genetics. And I have the genetics. It's just me building off of the genetics and really optimizing what I have. So, I mean, nobody has a structure like me. I've never seen it before, ever, ever. Even like down to like the height of my torso. All of those little things count. Where my hip bones start, the length of my femurs, my shoulders, my shoulder insertions, like all of those things matter cohesively when you put the body together. You're looking at that stuff from like a technical perspective, like what's the length of the arm? How long or how short are the muscle insertions? What do the muscle bellies look like? How long or how short is the torso? That's a huge thing in bikini. Is the waist naturally small or not? What is the V taper like, or the lats? What are the width of the lats and the clavicles, and like all of like those things? I have it. So I just have to display it to its best optimal potential. And that's what I intend to do in 7.5 weeks. So I'm more fired up than I have ever been. And I feel like that loss in Texas is something that I needed to kick myself in the arse and be like, all right, like, listen, you need to work harder and you need to never let that happen again, like ever. And as long as it's within my control, I'm never going to let that happen again. So, all that to say this, it just ignited me even more going into Atlanta, going into the Olympia. I was watching something on Instagram as usual, as we all do. Anderson Cooper, he's a CNN reporter. He's been working for them for a long time. He was interviewing another reporter, and that reporter said something to the effect of, um, love the thing you no, what did he say? He said, love the thing you love. Hold on, I'm gonna get it. Love what you wish didn't happen most. Love what you wish didn't happen most. And it took me a while to process what that meant. And what I received from that was that fear that you had that happened, that thing that happened that you really didn't want to happen. It made you see things differently, see the world differently, have a different perspective and a different appreciation. And for me, I wish that I didn't lose, but I have to love the fact that I did lose, because it has lit a fire within me, under me. It has created anger that I channeled into focus to come back and get back into that first place spot in Atlanta. Now going into the Olympia, 2023, I placed 10th. 2024, I placed ninth. 2025, I will break the top five. And I'm going to give absolutely everything that I have within me to do so. And at the end
Well,
of the day, Sorry, go ahead.
No, at the end of the day,
At the end of the day, if I know I gave 1,000%, not 100%, but 1,000% digging into depths deeper than I thought I had, and I give my all, I know that it can be achieved. So just as much physical work as it takes, this right here, the mental elements, it's more than the physical. And I'm ready for it. I'm so ready
it,
for it.
it clearly looks like, from what I'm in Texas, you either take the L as a loss or you take the L as a learn. And clearly you learned something that's obviously you've now executed for Atlanta and the next 7.5 weeks. Let me throw this scenario to you then. You bring that condition of fullness matched with your structure, your shape, your genetics, and a 200% mindset to bring your absolute best. If it was a final call out and they called you, Ashley Coldwater and Laura Lee, that's your final call out, about that three. What do you have that could potentially give you then the edge in that call out that judges are thinking, okay, that could be that could be our winner, that could be our front runner.
From the front, just my stature, like when I open up and hit that front pose with the lat and the V taper, how small my waist is, and then with the glute meat, how that hangs. It's a very curvy yet conditioned and feminine look. And then from the back, the upper outer glutes, I feel like those are going to be my really, really strong points at the Olympia, especially if I'm to be called out with those two of my peers. I'm very confident in my front pose. Like, nobody fucking with my front pose. Excuse my language. Like it's on.
If you're getting top five, you're going to be in the call out with Laurie actually at some point. So the judges are going to give you the opportunity to stand next to all the girls and showcase your front and rear and obviously showcase your strengths. So that has to be something that's going to happen if you are going to live up to that top five, uh, that top five prediction, that top five push, given the fact that, like I said, ninth was the position in 2024. And now you
Yeah.
feel that bring that condition, bring that forwardness, you can break into our top five. And there's plenty of girls who are either trying to break into our top five or the girls are still trying to survive and keep that top five from 2024 because it does look like it could be very much with a dogfight when you throw in Maureen in the mix as well as some of the other girls as well who are also pushing for that position.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. The other thing too is I have stage swag. I got the swag. I got the polish. Like no one's touching that. Like it is what it is. Eh,
Do you think you got one of the best posing prestations in the bikini game?
absolutely. Yeah. From top to bottom, hair, tan, makeup, posting presentation. A lot of people want to add extras and pizzazz. I'm just very simple, classic. When you have the physique and you have the looks, you have the hair, you have the polish. You really don't need to overpose. You really don't need to do anything crazy with your posing. Um, the judges really just want to see you hit your front pose, your back pose clean. They want to look at your body. They don't, want to see all the extra stuff because that could be distracting. And I coach full time too. So from the coach's seat, as well, it's distracting. I just want to see the physique in the body. Um, I think that's definitely one of my strong suits for sure. Just and my stage presence and my aura that I bring to stage as well is very unique and special. And I don't toot my own horn, but that's it. Like I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna highlight the good things about me as an athlete. But yeah, I feel that I have a very strong stage presence and energy about me. Some athletes get on stage and they just have it. They have that
Yeah,
it factor. They
yeah.
just kind of light up the stage. And other athletes, like it's okay, like great physique, but when you see other athletes on stage, you don't feel anything. When I get on stage, I want people to feel something. I want people to feel captivated, inspired, motivated. I want people to be in awe of what I bring. And I do a pretty dang good job of that.
Um, have you shut it down until Olympia or any more shows lined up?
No, I'm shutting it down. I'm
That's it.
shutting it down. Yeah. Um, One of the things that has been a miss for me in the past is competing too much before the Olympia. And for me, it doesn't work for me. Some athletes can compete back to back and they're okay. I don't need to compete as often, maybe a few times, 1 to 2 times before the Olympia, and shut it down. That way I could really save my peak for the big show for the Super Bowl of bodybuilding, which is the Olympia. And then also I love to train. I love to train. Like that is my first passion with this whole fitness thing is working out, lifting heavy, training intensely like a dog, like hard, hard. So the more time that I get to eat and train is a happy me. So during these next few weeks until the big day in October, um, I'm going to be working to make as many improvements as possible because believe it or not, you can still make improvements when you're in prep. Like I was still hitting PRs up until Texas until my coach told me I had to back off of told me that I had to back off of training. So I'm excited that I get to do that for a few more weeks until we really have to like drop the hammer going into that.
I, I want to ask one more question because you touched on right at the start. The end goal is to be the first Black American to win the Olympia Bikini title. Somebody achieved a similar goal at the Arnolds, and that was obviously Vanya becoming the first African American to win the Arnold's title. Um, if if she obviously she having the Arnold title, she's now also going to be seen as one of the favorites going into the Olympia because she's got that title. She beat Amy, she beat Ashlyn, rightly deserved. If she went on ahead and actually won the title before you, what did that do? Did that change anything in your mindset, knowing that goal can't be achieved, or is there something bigger that you are looking to achieve?
No, that absolutely won't change my goal because I know I still can do it and I know I can still hold that title and uphold that title and be an excellent ambassador for the sport. So if that was to happen, bravo, hats off to her. But that doesn't waver my goal from still getting that title. I'll still be on the hunt for it.
100%. And look, your placing show that you are going to be a hunt for it, and especially the fact that what you said you're hoping to bring come Olympia 2025 just adds another person in what is going to be an absolute dogfight bloodbath of a lineup. I mean, even that first and second call out, geez, I just don't know where you can even move people, but I'm just happy that we have got you back with Olympia. I'm thankful that you did jump into the show after Texas. I'm thankful to hear the reason why you didn't get a place was an easier adjustment to fix for Atlanta. And now you've got 7.5 weeks to focus on bringing your absolute best, those little traits that we saw at Atlanta, but just 2 pounds lighter with that, as you mentioned, 1,000% work rate. We could be seeing something very, very special on stage come Olympia night. Look, on that note, I just want to wish you the very best of luck. I know I'm aiming to be out of Olympia. I know a few of the guys are trying to sort me out to pass backstage, so I'm hoping to sort something out, and I'm still gonna make sure I'm covering everything leading up to the show. But yeah, congratulations on your
Thank
win
you.
and get back to
Thank
Olympia
you.
for the sixth time, right? It's your sixth time.
Yeah, it'll be my sixth time. Yeah, so it's
Ooh.
time.
So
It's time.
what's the placings in order since you started at Olympia?
Let's see if I could remember.
Putting a
I
spot
will
here.
say, yeah, I will say though, it has been I've consistently moved up every year, but I think my first year I was 16th. That would have been 2019. Second year, second year may have been 15th. Third year, 13th, 11th,
Then 10th and
10th,
9th.
and 9th. I think I maybe added an extra year in there, but it was 16th, like 15th, 13th, 11th, 10th, and 9th. Yeah.
Solid improvements over years. It's just a reminder to people that sometimes it's not realistic to hope to jump from a a lineup of 70 girls to go from 16th to 5th or top three. It is a gradual process, and something clearly you've shown over 6 Olympias that gradually getting better, better, and better to the point that you're an established top 10 Olympian, aiming to be established top five Olympian.
Yeah. And the thing is like I've never brought my best. I've never been like 100% going into any of the Olympias. So it's time to make sure I'm bringing 100% going into the Olympia now. Like previously, I was doing a lot of competing, working to establish my name and cement my position um, as a strong competitor within bikini by competing so much. So of course, by the time the Olympia came around, being closer to the end of the year, my body was just tired, shot, like it didn't look my best. So I did that probably for my first three Olympias. So of course, when you compete so much and your body's tired, you're not going to bring your best. Um, and then the Olympia, where I placed 10th, I finally broke top 10. I was very, very, very conditioned. I was so lean, like I was in an anatomy chart, so lean. And because I'm so much taller, being 5'7" and having very long extremities, it just that look, it was just too stringy. I needed to be fuller. And then last year was a very difficult prep for me. Like I had to push harder than I have ever pushed before. So my package was okay. It was okay. Had some posing hiccups that didn't really benefit my physique. It didn't bring out the best in my physique. But this year we've made adjustments to the posing, which looks really good. And now it's just that final element that we discussed at the beginning, which is bringing the conditioning and the fullness and making sure I hit those two things together at the same time.
Roll
So
on, Olympia, roll on. Thank you so much for your time.
thank you. It was lovely to meet you, and I appreciate your time today as well.
Thank you.